What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Skillzy, man, coming out with a brand new video, man. And in today's video, we are doing an NBA tier list video. I'm going to be putting every NBA team in a tier list going into the NBA 2020 and 2021 season. So the tiers are favorites, contenders, playoff lock, maybe playoffs, and then nope. Nope just means you're not making the playoffs no matter how good your team does. Like you're more like 99.9% not making the playoffs, in my opinion, of course. Maybe playoffs and then playoff locks, and then contenders and favorites. So for our favorites, I mean, like, a lot of people expect you to win it all. Like, there's like 3 or 4 teams who have a legit chance of winning it all, and they're the contenders, and then the playoff locks, right? So, yeah, that's how we're going to be ranking these teams. So, we're just going to go in order from right here. For the Rockets, if James Harden stay, they're contenders because James Harden is a top 10 player. They added John Wall, who looked pretty good in his preseason game. They added DeMarcus Cousins, who also looked pretty good in his preseason game, and they also added Christian Wood, who's also a solid pickup. So I'm gonna put them in contenders if James Harden stays. If they trade James Harden, they're gonna go do like maybe playoffs or nope. Miami Heat, same thing. They're gonna go to the contenders. Um, I don't think they're gonna make the finals again, but I think they will be a pretty good team in the Eastern Conference. Well, probably fight for the Eastern Conference Finals. Uh, with like a bunch of other teams who have a really good chance of making it, but I don't think they're making the finals this year. But I would say they're still contenders. The Hornets, I'm gonna put them in the maybe playoffs. They signed Gordon Hayward. They drafted LaMelo Ball with the third overall pick. Uh, it honestly depends how good LaMelo is as a rookie, and then if Gordon Hayward can go back to his like all-star days in what like he was in Utah, and then carry that team to the playoffs. The Magic, same thing. They didn't really make any moves this offseason. They drafted Cole Anthony. That was like their only major move, and they let DJ Augustine walk, which is completely fine. You won't miss him at all. And then Jonathan Isaac won't be playing next season as well. So I think they'll be fighting for that 8th seed. Next up, we got the Toronto Raptors, my favorite team. So of course I'm going to go put them in the contenders because I think they're still a really solid team. Uh, I would say, maybe got a little bit worse. We lost Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol. We added Aaron Baines and Alex Len. We drafted Malachi Flynn, who looked really good in his preseason game. So I'm gonna put us in contenders. For the Clippers, man, I'm gonna put them in the favorites. Yeah, like you might be like, oh, what is me? Because I think they had a really good offseason. They picked up Serge Ibaka and they let Montrezl Harrell walk, but Ibaka is an upgrade over Harrell and a way better fit than Harrell, so that's a dub. And then they also picked up Luke Kennard, and then they like traded Landry Shamet for the 19th overall pick. Then they traded the 19th overall pick for Luke Kennard, and that was a good pickup. Luke Kennard's much better than Landry Shamet as a player, so I think they got better. Hopefully they get playoff P, not pandemic P next season, and they can win it all. Okay, I think they can really truly win it all. Next up, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm gonna put them in the maybe playoffs. They drafted Anthony Edwards. They signed Rondae Hollis Jefferson. Those are the only 2 moves that I can think of from the top of my head. They traded for Ricky Rubio. Those I think there were 3 like big moves. Signing Rondae Hollis Jefferson wasn't a big move, but drafting Edwards and trading for Ricky Rubio were their 2 big moves. So I'm gonna put them in the maybe playoffs. Next up, we got the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm going to put them in contenders as well, man, because they're a solid team, man. Um, or they might be playoff lock. If they're in one of the two, I'm going to put them in playoff lock now. Actually, I'm going to put them in contenders. Yeah, I'm going to put them in contenders. Uh, yeah, I think they had a good offseason. They traded Al Horford's contract away. They got Danny Green. They got Seth Curry. Uh, they drafted Tyrese Maxey. So they got some shooters around Ben Simmons and Embiid. That should help the team out a lot. And I think they have a fair shot at going to the NBA Finals if the whole team is healthy. Next up, we got the Hawks, who I think are maybe playoffs. Like, I want to put them in a playoff lock, but like, they're not a lock. I want them to make the playoffs, but I don't think they will. So I'm gonna put them in a maybe playoffs. They had a huge offseason. Signed Bogdanovic, Gallinari, Rondo, Chris Dunn, drafted Anika Okongwu. They had a really good offseason. So I'm gonna put them in maybe playoffs. I would say like one more year, and then they'll be like playoff locks. Next up, we got Portland Trail Blazers. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in a playoff locks. They had also another really good offseason. They traded for Robert Covington, signed who did they sign? They re-signed Carmelo and Rodney Hood, and then they signed Derrick Jones Jr., traded for Enes Kanter, and signed Harry Giles, I believe, or traded for him. They had a pretty good offseason, and I'm putting them in playoff lock. Boston Celtics are a contender. I feel like there are going to be a lot of teams who are contenders. And yeah, I think they're one of them. Actually, I'm gonna put the Rockets down to playoff lock. I don't think they're contenders. I'm gonna have them more of a playoff lock. Spurs, nope, just no. The Bucks, they picked up Drew Holiday. That was a big move this offseason. I'm gonna put them in contenders. They have the reigning MVP and the reigning DPOY in Giannis, so they're of course going to be one of the favorites to win it all. Lakers, they signed Marc Gasol and Montrezl Harrell and traded for Dennis Schroeder. Also signed Wesley Matthews. They got better and they just won it all last season. So they're going to be favorites. Brooklyn, I'm going to go ahead and put them in favorites as well. A lot of people are going to expect them to make it to the NBA Finals this year with KD coming back, Kyrie hopefully going to be healthy this whole season. So I think they will be one of the favorites to win it all. Next up, we got the Phoenix Suns. I feel like most people are going to put them in maybe playoffs, but I'm going to put them in a playoff lock. If they're all healthy, I'm expecting them to make the playoffs next year for sure in the Western Conference. Pelicans, they're going to go into maybe playoffs. They traded Drew Holiday for Eric Bledsoe. They traded for Steven Adams. And they drafted Kyra Lewis Jr. So their floor spacing is not that good, which is the only problem with that team. But I think they will be fighting for that 8th seed, and they'll probably be in the play-in tournament. The Pistons, nope. They just had a horrible offseason. They were, in my opinion, they had the worst offseason, and they're gonna go into nope. They're not making the playoffs. The Wizards are gonna go into the maybe playoffs, just like the Hawks. I think the Wizards and the Wizards, Hawks, Pacers, and Magic. Yeah, I believe all those teams are gonna be fighting for that 7th and 8th spot. Because I think Boston, Milwaukee, Nets, Raptors, Sixers, and uh, Heat are all playoff locks in the Eastern Conference. And then you will, for the 7 and 8 spot, the Hawks and the Wizards and the Magic and the Wizards are all going to be fighting for that spot. Next up, we got the Denver Nuggets. I'm going to put them into contenders. They went to the conference finals last year. Actually, they're just a playoff lock. I'm going to have them in contenders just because they went to the conference finals last year. And that's basically my reasoning. Next up, Dallas Mavericks. I'm going to have them as a playoff lock as well. I think Luka Doncic is going to win the MVP next season. So I think they're a playoff lock. The Pacers are going to go with these teams right here. These Eastern Conference teams right here, all going to be fighting for that 7 and 8 spot. And two of these teams are going to get it. I think it's going to be the Hawks. And actually, maybe the Wizards and Pacers. Honestly, I have no clue at this point, bro. But the East is going to be competitive next year, which is good to see. The Warriors, if they had Clay, I would have them as a playoff lock. I would have them as a contender. But they don't have Clay next season, so I don't know how it will work. I'm going to put them in a playoff lock. Although a lot of people might put them in maybe playoffs, I'm gonna put them in a playoff lock. So we have how many Western Conference teams do we have already? We have Lakers, Clippers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, actually, and I can't have that. I'm gonna drop the Warriors on one. I truly do think they're gonna get it, but I don't see them being a lock. I think Steph Curry is going to be very good next year. If they had Clay, they would be in contenders, but they don't have Clay, so I'm gonna have them as maybe playoffs. Same with the Utah Jazz. I think they had a but like they didn't do anything this offseason. They didn't get better. The team is getting older. Mike Conley is getting older. Bogdanovich is getting older. Joe Ingles is getting older. Gobert, he's going to a contract year. Then Mitchell's getting younger. He's getting better every season. But everybody else around him is getting worse. I'm gonna have them as maybe playoffs. The Cavs, nope. OKC, nope. Knicks, nope. The Bulls, maybe playoffs, but I don't expect anything from them, to be honest with y'all. The Grizzlies, I'm gonna put the Grizzlies in. Nope. Yeah, I don't think they make them playoffs. Same with the Kings. I don't think they did anything this offseason to tell me that they can make the playoffs next season. Even though I do think the Grizzlies are a good team, I just don't think they can make the playoffs. The West is just too good, and the Kings, they're the Kings, man. They're not making the playoffs. They have De'Aaron Fox and nobody else. Everyone else on that team is not very good. Like Buddy Hield is okay, Marvin Bagley is okay. They signed Hassan Whiteside, but I just don't see them having any shot at making the playoffs. I'm gonna have them as a nope as well. So this is my NBA tier list going into the 2020-2021 season. Let me know if you guys agree with me. Let me know what you disagree with down below in the comment section. And other than that, it's been your boy Skillzy, and I'm out. Peace out, everybody.